Welcome everyone, this is Unstoppable Streletsy coming again to you with yet another Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition casted 1 vs 1 game. Shaman is with us again using the Indians. We've seen him do this before. He likes to use lots of sepoys and elephants just like I do. His opponent, Jehonkev 95, will be going with the Mexicans. They love to do a lot of revolutions and getting out of revolutions and then revolting once again. So we'll see how many revolts he goes for exactly. This map here is kind of interesting because though you do have a bit of a decent start in your hunts here without too much work, your other one you have to do a bit of herding work for. And then as you run out of resources, obviously this little piece of land here on the other side of the passable river, which does have fords across it, is a great place to set up a TC away from the main fighting. Let's see if anyone does actually use this or not. It might just be a direct hit right across here in the diagonal direction. Let's get started and see what they have to offer us today. Now, India, as we've seen in the past, in my casted games and for my gameplay, they're all about either going all in with sepoys typically, or they're going to go for an FF into Mahouts. That tends to be the stronger play for the Civ. There's certainly many other builds as well, but those are the ones that I find to be the most fruitful with the Agra Fort. On the other side, however, we have the Mexicans. Now, Mexico is a very, very sophisticated Civ. They obviously have their base characteristics quite similar to the United States. You know, unlocking different cards based on their politician. But at the same time, they also have revolts that they can not only enter at any time, just about that they can exit too to become Mexico once again. So, what we might see here is a Baja California rush, or we could see an economic Central American revolt for them. And that would be quite strategic, I think. Either way. I'm going to be looking at their decks to see what they do. Okay, so one Hacienda with 2 settlers. That's a pretty good card that I start out with. Obviously, Haciendas trickle resources quite well, so even though you might be thinking, oh, wait a minute, that's bad, there's only 2 gatherers. No, the Hacienda makes up for quite a bit, especially since it has a lot of bonuses later down the line. As for India, they yeah, they haven't had their shipment yet, so they're a little bit behind, I can imagine. You know what I mean? They could really use that wood trickle right now, just to keep that Villi queue going. Interesting. So we do see enlist irregulars. This is a very defensive card. We didn't see this one last time. What else do we see that's new? I mean, I think in every other facet, I consider this to be pretty standard Indian deck. I don't use intervention though, personally, but if he likes it, that's up to him. That's up to him. Let's see if he can get this treasure here. That'd be kind of neat. What kind of treasure is this, by the way? This is a Comida treasure. Now, this is pretty good since, you know, India doesn't actually have to invest any food into their gatherers. This just means that India's going to age up a lot quicker. And will it make much of a difference? Probably not, since they're going to reach there before they get it. But it's still good to have, especially when getting their first sepoys out. What wonder is he going with today? Oh, the Carnamata. Yeah, this is a very popular build as well. Whereas the Agra Fort might be more defensive and also offensive, the Carnamata is a purely economic-based build. Built around increasing your nearby gathering rate from the Carnamata wonder. What's Mexico going to do? So they are going up with Tlaxcala. This should be interesting to see if they revolt after that or not. We do see their cathedral coming up in their market. Probably going to be looking to get some upgrades super duper quick. Yep, hunting dogs as expected. What next? Land grab. Now this is going to be pretty interesting because a lot of the revolts have lots of different wagons that you can put down. This will definitely allow him to put up the haciendas a lot quicker in his revolution, which he's probably going to need to do to keep his resources up. But we'll go back to India super duper quick and see what they're doing. Now, this is what I wanted to look at. We do see a capture of the trading post on the other side of the river, out of the main way of the battle. So if Mexico wants to do some damage to his trading, he is going to have to cross this ford to get there, which could put him at risk of any defending forces coming out of here. Alright, so what we got here? Yep, another hacienda going down right here from the Egypt. Great. Also a military wagon for the barracks. Great. And what else do we got? Texacala Textiles ships 2 settlers. Each new and existing hacienda spawns 2 settlers. So he's basically going to get about... Wow, that's a lot of villagers. He's going to get... Oh, six gatherers. That's quite good, actually. Yeah. It's most than the average villager card is. The average villager card is about 5 vills. That's +1. So he's doing real good for himself there. India's playing it economically around the Karnamata right now. He does have a barracks to defend with, but his #1 goal is to obviously get the second wood trickle now. Get some architects, really start bending down into that strong economy so we can send lots of pricey elephants later, along with their solid infantry as well. We do see diplomatic intrigue though. Does he have a consulate yet though? That's the question. Trying to do a bit of searchy work to see if he has a consulate. I can't tell if he has one yet, because what that'll do is that'll propel him to get some extra batch of consulate units if he needs it for defensive purposes or to attack. It'll also make swapping between different consulate allies a lot cheaper, which could be quite helpful as India, since they do that a lot between Ottomans and then British in the Fortress Age. Yep, we do see mining and hunting. Oh, hunting. Yeah. Sepoys. So he is going to be doing some aggression here in Age 2. Both with the Sepoys and also the consulate. He can already afford his first batch of units, depending on which one he goes with. Mexico doesn't appear to be revolting yet, though. They still appear to be playing standard Age 2 play, pushing out some insurgentes. These insurgentes will be pretty good at taking down buildings, taking out cavalry, and just general raiding since they're pretty speedy. But he will have to be careful of the Sepoys, since if they stand their ground, they should be able to fend off a lot of the insurgente threats that he might pose. I'm just curious to see what he does with these insurgentes. Does he try to go for a raid? Does he try to go for this trading post? That's one useful thing he can do with these. Yeah, it looks like he is going to do that. You see the Explorer and the Padre here again taken down by the Sepoys. Oh, yep, he knows to leave right now because he knows he can't deal with that. He can ship in some Saltatierradores, of course, which are the Mexican skirmisher unit. That'll give him better odds against these Sepoys. Definitely. He also is going to queue up some Soldados. Soldados being really pricey, but also very strong musketeer units. And they're also really good at sieging as well, since they throw a lot of grenades. Now, will they arrive in time? Probably. I think at this point you should... Yeah, India's definitely going for the cathedral first to go get his attention. Saltatierradores are already working on them. Do you retreat or do you push in? That's the question. Now, I would retreat if it was me. I would go at least a bit further back. Of course, with the skirmisher threat from the Soltatieradores, you're always going to be at risk of having your units picked off little by little as you're retreating. But it doesn't seem like he was dead on his tail, though, so he is able to get out there pretty easily. Yep. Nice. This is always good to see. Looks like India is considering defenses a little bit, and they're getting a bit of walling up. You never know if Insurgentes or Chinacos could do any sort of raiding to you, so if you can get a bit of walling up on this map, it could be quite helpful. Especially since you already get a lot of natural walling from the river. The upfront wood cost again those walls is a lot cheaper than you'd would on an open map. Gurkhas coming out as well, probably to pose a greater threat to both his heavy infantry units and also the longer range Soltatieradores as well. Interesting, so he actually went for the Ottoman consulate, so he's got these nice Delhi cavalry. They are a bit weaker than standard hussars, but they do attack a bit faster, I believe, and they move a bit faster. So they should do pretty well against these Soltatieradores and give his infantry more time with dealing with the Insurgente threat. He's definitely looking to do some raiding damage as he's pulled his Delhi's forward. But at the same time, Mexico is gonna look to be doing their own aggression. The cool thing about Mexico is you can always garrison your settlers inside the haciendas, making them like little mini towers in a sense, which really prevents your enemies from raiding you very effectively. What's India gonna do next is the question. They do have enough to age up and get those elephants that I was talking about before, but it looks like right now he just wants to get some Gurkhas out to... Ooh, this could be bad. This could be very bad. I mean, this would be really bad to lose the Karnamata this early, you know. This is a really good economic one there. You really want to protect us as best as you can. Especially considering you don't have any sort of agri-fort as an alternative to compensate for it, so... If he loses this wonder, he will lose it. He will lose it. He is definitely going to lose it. The Soldados just have way too much siege on them to let him save that. Ouch. That did hurt quite a bit. That was... But at the same time, you see the Indians doing a bit of work over here. The big difference, though, is Mexico has a lot more means of garrisoning their villagers. All they have to do is just jump inside one of the haciendas and they're all good. India trying to make up for their loss by going for elephants in Age 3 using the Charminar Gate. That's probably a good way to go. I mean, Insurgentes are certainly decent anti-cav, but at the same time, the Mahouts just have so much HP and also the splash that I could totally justify why you'd want to be going for elephants at this time. Now, I don't know why he's going with Sawars, though, because the Mahouts do the same thing that the Sawars do, just with more splash and more HP. I would probably begin more of the Gurkhas, perhaps, because I'd be more worried about him revolting into Baja California and popping out a lot of those light cav outlaws, probably. But we'll see what he does. At this point, it seems like Mexico's just staying back, trying to add some more military in. Actually going for their second wood chopping market upgrade. Probably to keep up with building production. How's he doing on his hacienda? He actually has reached the limit of his haciendas to maximize that Texacala textiles cards. What's his vil count at? So yeah, he's already at about 47 settlers on the field right now, compared to India with about only 38. So yeah, He's 10 settlers ahead thanks to that nifty little bonus of the card. That'll make a huge difference in the upcoming fighting, especially since he has the production of the haciendas working as well, and the fact that he burned down his opponent's Carnimata, which was getting him extra res. India may feel a bit more pressured as a result to go for some aggression as a result of that, since they know they're going to be losing in the long haul in terms of resources. Mexico sends safely behind their haciendas with soldados and saltatiradores. Both very effective. I mean, when you compare the two, even these, even veteran disciplined sepoys would not have strong enough stats to compare to the soldados one-on-one. So as long as Mexico can keep their pop up and get lots of these soldados, I think they have the military advantage as well. Ooh, interesting. We do see siege elephants from India. When you got so many of these haciendas popped up everywhere, really the best thing you can hope to do is use some of these siege elephants to start shooting them down and cutting down your enemy a few pigs. He also has his mahouts at the ready. So he's definitely ready to deal with any potential skirmishers now. He just needs to make sure the soldados don't get in the way and start cutting them down. Would that be a big loss of resources for him? Disciplined sepoys. I would have gone for disciplined Gurkhas first. Oh, he already has disciplined Gurkhas. Okay. Now I understand. Alright. You need to watch this. You see Mexico going north to do some probably flanking tactics on you, right? They're probably not, India's probably not going to expect an attack from up here. If he does not watch this army carefully, that could definitely hurt him. How does? Will he pursue that force up there, or is he just going in on the Mexico? Oh, he's coming back, yeah. I don't think either side, well, I guess India could begin their assault now since they're already there, but Mexico made the decision to go back to deal with this threat. Veteran soldados, that's even better, as well as veteran saltadores. Mexico's looking really good in army right now. These mahouts, they're going to try to go for the skirmies, but the problem is you're at a choke point with this fort here, and you're not really trying to get around the heavy infantry threat, so you're basically giving the soldados full reign on stabbing down your elephants, basically. And after that, well, he's fortunate enough to have one mahout left, which did give him a big enough boost to win that. And at this point, India just has to chase down these saltatiradores and pick them off as best as he can. If you can get those Gurkhas in the range, keep getting the shots, keep shooting and shooting and shooting. The more shooting you can do. Whew. So we did see a Mexico revolt. Really interesting. The Rio Grande revolt. This should be kind of interesting. He did get a large army of revolutionary infantry. This kind of renders any mahouts or any sawars he has useless, since they have that nifty anti-cavalry multiplier. But unfortunately for him, India still has a large group of Gurkhas. Whoa, wait a second. Now this is a big blunder if you're India. You have a Mansabdar mahout, but you don't have any mahouts to basically be the beneficiaries of it. This basically, well, it does have over 2 KHP though, so maybe it's not so bad. Yeah, see, this is the problem, man. You obviously have way too much heavy infantry now, and you don't have any way to deal with the remaining Indian infantry. Right, when you compare both of these units, both the disciplined sepoy and the disciplined Gurkha are much better than your Revolutionary Militia. Doesn't matter that you have a large stack of them. And what were you doing not having these falconets on the front lines either? because I feel like if you had a large group of revolutionary militia like that, you should have definitely had these falconets in play to help deal with that. But here's one interesting tidbit. It looks like Mexico is going for a bit of fishing on the river. That could be one way they could catch up on economy now that they've basically threw out all their settlers out the window. Yeah, that's the problem with revolting, you know. If you don't get that hard blow in with it, you'll basically lose your entire force of settlers. And he did have more settlers than his opponent did before. And he gave up that advantage by doing that. Let's see if he can make good on it, though. He does have about 19 militia. He is getting Nuevo Leon militia. Ships to additional militia. And for each shipment sent so far in the game, so about 24. That's pretty good. I mean, he really needs as much of these as he possibly can right now. I mean, you obviously have this large army of Salwars that you need to shoot down. You need to hope that this group of militia that you're relying on will be able to take them out. Yeah, good defense. Good defense. Moving a little bit further. You need to make sure that the falconets are covered and secured. This one's gonna be fine, but is this one alright? Maybe, maybe not. I don't like this. I don't like the Salwars poking in like that. That's really not what you need right now. Oh, nope. You weren't watching your flank here. He completely sandwiched you in there. That was not good. It was not good at all. Now we are fully surrounded, and you are at the verge of surrendering, I can imagine. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you have fishy ships up here. It doesn't matter if you have all these wonderful cards at your disposal. You are basically done for. Yeah. That's about it, really. GG to both. Thought that both played fairly well in their roles. I do think that Mexico maybe shouldn't have revolted at that time, right? Because they did have the economic advantage. If they could have kept with soldados and saltatiradores, I would have done that. At the same time, I feel like India, you know, they were playing mostly good for most of the game. I would try not to lose my Carnima, though. It's a very good wonder to keep, and if you can keep it, keep it. That's all I have to say about that. Let's look at the post-game. In general, it looks like, yeah, this is why I consider India to be an MVP civ in terms of kills. They just do so much kills in their games when they're played properly. In terms of resources, interestingly enough, India actually made more resources, or at least, yep, both resources and economy, than his opponent did, who technically had more gatherers. Some good food for thought when you're playing your games, right? Well, anyways, I got a couple more of these to do tonight. I hope you enjoyed this first one. See you in the next ones.